Hello, witches. Grab your goats. Grab a doll or two, haunted preferably. Grab a microphone and get some glitter on because it is time for the Witches Movie Coven. Yes, indeed. Witches talking about witches, well, sort of, in movies. This week we are doing K-pop Demon Hunter. We have all watched it and we hope that you have too. My name is Patti Negri. I am one of your hosts. I'm honored to be here. You might know me from my school, University Magicus, from my podcast, The Witching Hour, from my networking Paraflix streaming service, or from Ghost Adventures and shows all over the place, or just from my goats and my dolls, or my girl Belle, which is upstairs now. But I ramble. So I'm going to pass this on to my other co-host. Let's start with Richard-Lael.
That's me. I'm right there. Richard-Lael is one name, not two. If I were just Richard, I'd be eight. I am known as the Gentleman Psychic. You may know me also from Ghost Adventures or from University Magicus, or you may know me from, I don't know. I'm really easy to find. But speaking of easy to find, if you are here and you're watching this, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. It really helps us out in the algorithms. You could follow us too. Also, I wanted to show something that Heather sent me. This is Lilith, and I just love her. She's from the early 1900s, and she was found in the Appalachian Mountains, and she has been preserved. She was losing all of her 120-year-old stuffing, and she is happy to be home. Thank you. I love her.
Beautiful. And while I didn't introduce, this is my French floozy from Heather as well, because she is our doll goddess. Oh no, don't lose your hat, baby. Don't lose your top. Don't lose your hat. But she's the cutest girl I've ever seen in my life, and she's me. She's a French floozy. Okay, moving on. Jason.
I am Jason Mankey. You have not seen me on Ghost Adventures, but you might have seen me at your local bookstore. I am a 10-time Llewellyn author. This is my latest book, High Priest, a biography of Raymond Buckland. I don't have any haunted dolls. All I have are giant action figures that sort of remind me of my childhood, which is haunting in its own way.
Okay, Heather.
He does not have any dolls yet. I'd like to just add that in. Tack that onto the bio.
That's a threat. That's a threat.
Not necessarily. I am Heather Greene, and I am the author, and I didn't grab my book, of Lights, Camera, Witchcraft. It's a critical history of witches in American film and television. It's the definitive guide to all things witchy in movies. And I am also an editor at Llewellyn Worldwide, where some wonderful authors write for, like Jason and Patti and others. And I am also a journalist, and I cover all things occult and witchy in media when I get the chance. So you can find me on the socials. You might know me from there, and just from general being around the pagan community and attending stuff, and this wonderful podcast that we do every week. This coven meeting, I should say.
It's our coven, yes. Now, unfortunately, beautiful Courtney cannot be with us. She is not feeling well. She hurt herself. So send her lots of good love and witchy wishes. And in placement of her, we have our regular fill-in, the beautiful, wonderful Tabitha Meadows. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Patti. I am Tabitha Meadows. I am a medium and psychic, and I have come here to dance my way with the coven tonight. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you. Okay, before we go, I just wanted to tell everybody, since we just did The Conjuring Book 3 last week, I have just spent this past weekend in Maine with Annabelle and everything from the Warrens Museum at the Maine Paranormal and Horror Con. It was amazing. They had thousands of people come out. Got to dance and hang with Maribel. When in Rome, I even got a Catholic priest, because they carry one with him, blessing afterwards. He was so cute because he saw me paganed out all over, which he was going to do a blessing. He goes, and he like almost apologetically going, "It's going to be a Catholic prayer. Is that okay?" And I'm like, yeah, I would expect nothing less, Father. It was really cute. He was so cute. But I was with our friend Haley from Scared Me Paranormal Princess. We got a trip out to go to Stephen King's house and the cemetery where they did Pet Cemetery. We just made a whirlwind weekend, and it was really fun. And I saw the new Conjuring film. We got a screening with the Nesper people, Tony Spera and Chris and all the people. We had a private screening on the night I first arrived. So I'm going to sleep for days one of these days, but it was really great. So I personally like the new movie. I am a Conjuring universe person. I'm sure that the Coven's going to tear it apart one of these days, but I like it. Yeah. Anyway, so this week's movie, brand new movie, KPop Demon Hunters. Hopefully you guys all watched it, but in case you didn't, Richard-Lael, do you have your beautiful, always unbiased synopsis of this film?
Wednesday night is my favorite night of the week. It used to not be my favorite night of the week because that was two things that I didn't like. I did not like that on Wednesdays when I was in school, that was physical education. And then we had the Royal Rangers Wednesday night service as a former Christian. So I have the Wednesday nights have been reclaimed. That pleasure house on this episode. I have mulled over how I can, in a concise, unbiased, and culturally sensitive approach, speak of this film. So here's how I do it. 3 K-pop singers. I believe their names are Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. They form a band against Mojo Jojo, him, and the furry group that are also demon. And they save the world by singing, and then they fall in love with him, Mojo Jojo. But him is also a demon, but he's not really a demon. And then there's a little fighting. There's a tiger and a magpie. And they find that they don't need love. And that's the end of the demons. And that's what I have for you.
That may be your shortest synopsis yet, Richard-Lael. And I know we're having a little bit of scattery problems. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was much longer. So now we've got a clear picture. I don't even know if we need Heather's 5. No, maybe we do. Heather, we have 5 things other additional things we need to know about this film.
Yeah, I've got a mess of notes here that I didn't do a good job of organizing, so bear with me here. Let's talk about this great movie, K-pop Demon Hunters, originally purchased originally paid for by Sony $100 million and sold to Netflix. A little bit of shenanigans there. Sony lost out because this has become a very successful film. It was imagined by and directed by Maggie Kang, I believe, if I could read my handwriting. She's Canadian, but she does have Korean roots, and she wanted to create a film that had the flavor and feeling of her cultural heritage, and that is where this begins. It was co-directed by Chris Abel-Hans. Both of them were on movies like Puss in Boots and Rise of the Guardians. She did work on Kung Fu Panda, so they have a background in animated films, both of them. So basically it has, as I said, become a phenomenon. It was, I think if I have the number correct, hang on a second, it made 19 million, over 19 million just in its first release. And that was in theaters. Sony didn't think it would do well in theaters. This is why they sold it to Netflix. I think it did the best of any Netflix movie first release.
Mm-hmm.
It's also been on the #1 movie on Netflix, airing on Netflix for 7 weeks, which I believe is a record. A couple other things with this film notable is that it is the second most watched Netflix movie, which is right behind Red Notice. I don't know if anybody saw Red Notice. I did not, but it is quickly gaining on that film. And they expect it will overtake it, being the #1 Netflix film seen. It is also smashing records at the box office. The billboards, the music, the sound. People love it. They're singing it. There's TikTok dances. And right after this episode, I'm going to go practice. And the Golden Song has hit #1 top charts across the board, also making the Billboard Hot 100, hitting #1. And the interesting thing about that, it is the first K-pop song ever to hit #1 on the Billboard 100. And it is not even a real human K-pop group. It is also the first girl group to hit #1 on that same chart since Destiny's Child. And if you do not know who Destiny's Child is, just say my name, say my name. So
Heather.
that is some interesting stuff about the records of that. Now, most of the cast members you probably do not recognize their names necessarily, but they have been in a lot of things. I'm going to just pull a few out. There were actresses, and then there were singers. So the people that did the voice of the acting were not singing as well. And I'd like to pull, and they're phenomenal singers here. So I'm going to mention one particular that I needed to bring out. Is that Celine? So for example, I'll just name some of them. So Rumi was played by Arden Cho. The singer is EJAE. I don't know how she pronounces it. Mira was Mei Hong. Singer is Audrey Una, and that goes on like that. And these are all mostly accomplished actors and singers. And one I'd like to bring out, as I said, Celine, the character of Celine. The singer was Lea Salonga, and I think that's an interesting little note for those Broadway fans here. If you know Lea Salonga, she's known for Miss Saigon, and if I think about it too long, I'll start to cry. It's a beautiful musical done by the guys that did Les Mis. She was also Aladdin, the singing voices in Aladdin, Disney's original, and she also did many other things. She was the witch in Into the Woods. She was in so many musicals. She's top-notch Broadway star. Bobby was played by Ken Jeong. You might know him from Crazy Rich Asians, The Hangover, The Community. He's been in so many things. Very, very recognizable face. Healer Han, Daniel Do Kim. You may recognize his face as well. He's been in a ton of things. Lost, Hellboy, Insurgent, and the remake of Hawaii Five-0. So you've seen him around as well. The narrator was Lisa Kashi. I'm bringing her up because if you just watched The Naked Gun, the recent remake, she was in that. So that's really kind of the interesting. It's got a very talented, well-versed cast. Most of them do have some Korean heritage in their lives, whether they were born there or from the heritage. So the next, I want to talk about the animation. They combined 2D and 3D. This is something that they picked up from or inspired by the Spider Universe movies. I don't know if anyone's seen them. If you have not seen any of the two, and then the upcoming one, and I think in 27, if you have not seen Spider-Verse Universe movies, you need to see them. They are absolutely phenomenal. Artistry with animation is second to none. They mix all kinds of animation. In this case, you're finding the 3D animation, the typical more glossy, and then you hit the more anime style, manga style animation with the chibi kind of look where the faces get bigger and fatter and stuff. That's why I have these little guys here as inspiration for us tonight. It's the big heads, little bodies. Comes from Japan. It's a style. They've brought that there. So that is that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the Korean influence, which was a piece that they really wanted to bring out here, that the director was really adamant, or that was what inspired the movie to begin with. And so I have a list of things here that are worth talking about because there are some interesting Korean cultural things that they worked in here. First of all, you have the three weapons, notable, all Korean weapons. That you can see the 3 there. And let me find their names. You have, hang on a second. Here they are. And I'm going to say the words wrong. Saengim, which is the traditional Korean military sword, which is that front one held by Rumi. Then you have a gokdo pole arm. I'm butchering how these are pronounced. That's the one held by Mira on the side to my left. And then the interesting one for us here would be what's her name? Zoey's holding. Those knives are actually ritual knives. They're not weapons. They're called shinkal knives. And if you go online, you can actually think, how do you make a Zoey's shinkal knife? So they are ritual weapons that were used for protection and in Korean shamanism. So that's an interesting piece. And of course, Korean shamanism comes out in a number of other ways that is shown. And I read some articles by Koreans about this movie to check on things. But the tree and the time when they go to the tree, that's definitely representative of a place that's very sacred and has a mystical stories about it. So that's purposeful. The idea of 3 women or song being used to get rid of demons, and 3 women particularly handed down to do this work. That's also from lore, Korean lore, and also Korean history. The interesting thing about that as well is one person said that there actually is a legacy of K-pop girl bands that goes back to the 30s, and then the daughters would take over, and the daughters would take over. So there's a legacy of that part of the story outside of Korean shamanism, is that K-pop girl band thing. So another interesting is they've used paintings. One of the paintings she showed that is actually behind them in one of their performances is actually a real painting that used to be behind kings, representing the kings and the queens and peace in Korea. And there's a number of things I could go through. She just peppered the whole movie with all of these little things. The last thing I'll mention is the tiger and the magpie that is from a specific type of painting, Korean folk paintings. Very, very common, very, very notable. The idea is that the magpie is keeping an eye on the tiger who represents the king. That is the original interpretation of it. Goofy king, goofy area, the magpie keeps an eye on him. That is the idea of it. So you have, in fact, what's interesting about that is when the movie came out, it was so popular that people rushed to buy pins of the magpie and the tiger from a museum in Korea that has pins that you can buy, and they're sold out because of this movie. And so there's a ton of it, and we can talk about that. There they are. There is a ton of Korean stuff in here that's fat. I'm sure we're missing a ton of it. And if you're actually Korean, you're probably seeing a whole lot more, including things like, the representation of demons and all this. There's tons to talk about, especially if you know Korean culture. So that's it for now. You'll have to excuse me. I'm going to leave the podcast now and go learn some K-pop dances.
Sweet. Let's go. Let's do it.
Right here. Let's do it right here. Everybody, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go, Heather. And kick. And kick.
5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's chorus line.
They have very long legs, those K-pop dancers.
Holy crap, they do.
They do.
Like,
yeah.
They thought Barbie had an odd body. All right. Who wants to start? No.
I think Tabitha wants to start.
Tabitha does.
I can see it in her face.
Okay, so I don't think I was ready to start, but I have to get ready to start, right?
You have to be ready. You have to be ready to lights on. Show starts.
So start off. I liked Rumi as a name. It was Rumi was a 13th century poet and Sufi mystic. So I thought that was kind of cool that they brought that name into the mix with this movie. There's a lot of things that touched me, and that goes back to last week's movie about dealing with your own crap. But this week, though, I think some of the things that were put on the people or characters in this movie, like shame, seem to come from more of an ancestral background, and none of us can help where we're born of. She's part demon and part human, and that wasn't a choice that she had, but the choice that she did have as her character progresses is how to use her powers. And I thought it was pretty cool that instead of choosing one side or the other, that she decided to embrace both the dark parts and the light in her. And I feel like it was kind of set up when they went to the doctor at the beginning, because the doctor said something pretty profound, I think. So in order to heal a part of ourselves, we must look at the whole of yourself. Focusing on one part leads to ignoring other parts, and that leads to separation. And I think a lot of times that we do focus too much on, and these are my opinions, you guys, focus too much on the light, or focus too much on the dark. But again, demonizing something that's a human quality. We all have both dark and light. I don't think is fair. I think we need to own those parts of ourselves instead of again calling them something else. It is very much a part of yourself. So and I did like that even when the two other characters found out that Rumi she had a dark secret and a shame that was put on her, they decided not to walk away from her. They decided to back her up, no matter who she was, and help her rather than shunning her. So I thought that was a beautiful thing too, and that's testament to having really good friends, which is hard to find sometimes.
In a band. Thank you, Tabitha.
Thank you.
I wanted to let Tabitha start because I wanted to start off nice, because I don't hate this movie like Richard-Lael I think might hate this movie, but I was sort of entertained while I was watching it, but I have so many questions because so many things did not make sense to me at all. Like, how do you become a demon in this world? Are you born a demon? Do you turn into a demon? The demons suck the souls out of humans, so there's something there, but this girl is half a demon? Like, there's just questions that didn't get answered for me, and maybe I missed it. Maybe it was in the middle of a song and I wasn't paying attention to the lyrics, but I was just bewildered so much. I could go on for 10 minutes about how bewildered I was at various parts of this movie because they just didn't make sense to me and things weren't explained very well. Does this protection only protect South Korea? What about North Korea? Maybe that's where Kim Jong-un comes from. Maybe they're not protected up there because it didn't look like it was on the map. Are they protecting us? I don't know. These questions were never answered to my satisfaction. Or I don't think they were attempted to even be answered. And I can still go on. I can go on further with these questions. How does time work in this world? How does booking stadiums work in this world? Well, we've just played at an award show. In 3 hours, we'll be going live at midnight in a giant stadium, and you all can come. What the heck? That's not how time works. That's not how concerts work. I was lost. There were times when I was lost. The songs were good, but there were times when I was just lost.
I think the songs where we can I think there's not really witchcraft in this movie per se. However, we can tie songs as a sort of powerful spelling, if you will, because what they were saying and singing had energetic effect over all of the people that were within earshot. Actually, it rippled out like energy out further past the crowds and into the cities. So
yes, we did that with Sinners a few weeks ago. That's what we did it with.
I think Tabitha, that explanation may be why I despised this movie so much. Because maybe I'm a demon. Because I hate pop music. It was some kind of torture. I wanted to flee from the pop music. I did not like the music. I hated every second of it. I hated it. I hated the music.
Magic was working on you, demon.
See, it must be working on me.
I am not a big pop music person, and I'm not an animated person. You guys know I am the not animated member of this coven. But I do believe that music is the purest form of magic, even if it's not my favorite style of magic. So I like that. To me, the witchcraft, or not witchcraft, but the magic was in the music.
Yeah.
That was made very, very clear. The plot line was, everything, I agree with you, Jason, was not made very, very clear. I just kept thinking, I'm just watching a great big music video of just an endless music video with lots of kicks and dancing. I love the high kicks. I love the dancing. But I don't.
Sorry.
Go.
I was just thinking about all of the iconic people who have had a impact on the way that people dress or what they do, starting back with, Elvis Presley or people in blues music. People really looked up to them, and music made them feel a way and started acting a way, and other people didn't like that. So there is definitely this magic to it that gets people really going and wanting to be a part of something or not a part of something. And so yeah.
I'm gonna jump in here and I'll give you my opinion of the movie in a second. But we saw music being used in magic with the witches in Hocus Pocus. They use the singing as a spell on the people. You see it in
Agatha Alone.
Yes, Agatha has the song, but I don't know if that entrances, but yes, it's most certainly. And then, of course, if any of you here out there in our Coven world love and watched, or have children that have loved and watched the My Little Pony movies, there is The Magic of Friendship. There is the second movie called Rainbow Rocks. The cast of the bad band uses magic to entrance and to make people angry and hate each other. So yes, friendship is magic. So that is the second movie. We have something very similar, which when I was watching this, I kept thinking that this movie is like if you took Rainbow Rocks, My Little Pony, and mixed it in the cauldron with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and then sprinkled in a little bit of 2025 teen culture, you wind up with this movie, because that really has some of the same feels. You get that Buffy the Vampire, teenage killing, Second Life. You get, there's Rainbow Rocks. That's the bad band. They're the ones who sing the song that does the bad stuff. Yes, I've seen the movie. So now we can quickly jump to what I think about this movie. I am admittedly a sucker for any animated film that has bands in it. So like when I was a kid, my favorite cartoon was Josie and the Pussycats. I'm just going to own that right now. You guys has anyone here seen Josie and the Pussycats?
The movie or the TV show?
The TV show from the 70s. The
It's not as good as Gem and the Holograms.
Oh,
Well, I didn't care about Gem and the Holograms.
That was outrageous. Truly
I liked
outrageous.
Josie and the Pussycats. And anyway, so this, and then, you know, of course, I did like that My Little Pony episode TV movie, and movies in general. If they have some kind of girls singing music on stage dancing, I'm gonna like it. So yes, I like this movie. There's Josie and the Pussycats. There they are. See, it does exist, and I had fun. Yes, there were problems with the plot. I also was trying to figure out what's up with the demons. Like, how do you become a demon? I started to go there, and I'm like, just forget it. Let's just be golden. So we're good. And I just let it go and just watched and enjoyed it and was cheering at the end. And once I want to learn the dances and the songs, and that's all I needed. So yeah, I had fun. And I love singing boy band songs and doing the boy band dances too. So I want to learn all the dances.
I'll learn the dances with you. Yeah.
Soda Pop's a banger. I mean, that was a good song. One of the things I really like about K-pop is it reminds me of American pop music 20 years ago. And I don't mean that in an insulting way.
Yeah.
It's just that when I listen to a lot of American pop now, I don't like it, but I like K-pop because somebody in the comments earlier said that reminded them of Justin Timberlake. And that was really that heyday of that kind of sound and boy bands and Spice Girls. And that kind of music is really fun. And I thought the songs in this movie were really fun. I didn't think they were as world-changing as the movie thought they were, but I thought that they were fun. And I've listened to the soundtrack a few times for my own personal enjoyment since watching the movie.
Yeah, it was fun. And you know, getting back to the Korean part is that, and similar to what Tabitha said, is that is actually a tradition. I think somebody else has said in the comments, there's a tradition of using music in magic, in shamanism and in cultures. And in Korea, they used music and singing to keep demons away, to keep evil away. This is, I think, the word. So not demons, because they don't think, which I've said before, the way they look at demons and evil and all that is very different in Korea, Japan, China than we look here. We look at this as a representation of the devil and demons. Is Western culture is going to watch this movie, but that's actually not necessarily the case, which you can see they don't really get into the whole demon thing. They don't give it that devil versus that Christian overlay. They don't do it in this movie. They just kind of, which is, for us, we want to know that we need more information on that. Could you please?
I mean, clearly the head of the demons though is bad though. Like,
yeah, he's a bad guy.
He's bad. I mean, he's
evil.
We don't know about all the rest of the demons though. Like, there seems to be different classes of demon. Like, there are those demons who seem relatively self-aware, though not nice. And then there are like the hordes of spirit demons where like 1,000 come at the girl group at the same time and they dispatch all of them in like 2 minutes. Right? I mean, the demons are not particularly threatening in this film. No, like, you're never like, oh, I wonder if they're going to survive. You're like, oh, I'm just going to watch them do some cool things for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was never a threat from the demons.
No.
My internet is acting up.
It's the demons.
My internet is acting up. I want to talk about the demons.
You watch the movie.
Go ahead. We can hear you.
You can hear me? I don't know. My computer is acting up. I don't know. So the thing about the Asian demons is that they are, like you said, different from Western culture demons. There is a demon in Chinese mythology that kicks you when you walk down a path. It just kicks you. There's another demon who washes a leaf in a creek. Like, that's all that's its entire purpose, is to just wash this leaf. So sometimes Asian demons mildly inconvenience you, as opposed to Western demons, which possess you and make you homicidal or whatever. So that's one of the differences there. I do want to talk about the flight attendant demon who is pouring coffee on the flower. I may be mistaken in this, but I think that they were referencing a Korean TikToker who she was a flight attendant, and her mother was from Korea, and she will imitate her mother or the flight attendant as she is. And I think that flight attendant is that TikToker. I may be wrong, but I think so.
Thank you.
Quite possibly.
All right. So we've talked the film, and do we have any quotes?
Oh no, Courtney's not here.
I know.
I think Tabitha had one she can repeat though.
Yeah.
Which you enjoyed.
It wasn't an exact quote, but it was the in order to heal a part, we must look at the whole, and focusing on one part leads to ignoring other parts and being separated. There was another thing I think. Rumi, I think it was Rumi said. The funny thing about hope, no one else gets to decide if you feel it, and I thought that was pretty.
That choice belongs to you.
When you feel it,
yeah.
When you feel it.
I thought that was a very important thing that was said as well. Yeah.
I can bring up one other thing if you guys don't mind before we get to Jason's wonderful minute.
Really early too, anyway.
Yeah, we got to talk about this movie for another 15 minutes.
I do have a few quotes, but they're just not that interesting. I figured Courtney wasn't here. How it even opens up: the world will know you as pop stars, but you'll be much more than that. You'll be demon hunters. But I like the one that, how am I supposed? Oh no! See, I'm not good at this. How am I supposed to fix the world? How am I supposed to fix? I'm not doing quotes. How am I supposed to fix the world? Fix me. How am I supposed to fix the world if I can't, when I don't have my voice? Which was kind of a good quote. That says a lot. When I don't, not having your voice, how do you fix the world?
Out of context, that could be very powerful. That out of context of the movie and not knowing the story, just saying that quote could be taken as something very powerful. How do you fix the world if you don't have a voice? So
right.
I thought that there were like a couple of like inspiring quotes in this movie in between the songs and the announcements of concerts staged without any, like warning or foreshadowing or being able to purchase security for the concerts or sell tickets or anything like that. But I mean, I understand why people love this movie, especially younger people, because it does feel kind of empowering and inspiring, even if I have no idea what's going on through large parts of it, or why certain things are happening, or who owns the cat. Is it the guy from Such Boys, or is it the demon lord? I don't know, because the
he was a messenger.
Seems nice. What's that?
Just a spiritual cat.
He was a messenger.
The airplane splits apart in the air, and they sail down on demons. What happens to the fuselage? Like flying over, I think I'm frozen again. They're flying over this stadium filled with people. Where did the plane go?
We thought that too. Like there should have been a mass catastrophe there because pieces of the plane have to fall down. And also, isn't everybody in the stadium going to realize that these are not just singers? Like, how oblivious is their manager, right? I mean, they fly down from a plane and then land in the stadium and woo, everybody's going crazy. But he never thinks to himself, how did they survive without a parachute falling down from a plane? And he just seems to think they're normal pop stars. Why can't they at least let him in on the secret? And also, how oblivious is he? Like, how completely oblivious?
He looked pretty oblivious.
He was very oblivious.
In general.
He was on his phone the whole time. The other piece that ties into that I was going to bring up a minute ago, but it kind of ties into this, is the fact that she is a demon and a human. And it is explained that her dad is a demon, but they never explain exactly. Like she says, I was a mistake the whole time. So was this like I'm a zombie and a girl, the zombie, and Is it a monster and a girl kind of thing situation? Are they in love? Is it one of those and they had a kid? Or was it rape? I don't know what was going on there. Like I thought that. Yes, I thought that. Like, what the heck? I need a backstory there. I just need to know, were they in love? I wanted it to be a love story and this. But aside from not knowing exactly that origin of how she came about, the one moment that was really cool when we find out is her trying to wrestle with being between the worlds. And we get that a lot with witch movies, and we see that a lot in other movies. But and then when she looks at the camera at the end, when she finally embraces her whole self, she's now embracing both I'm a demon and I'm a human. And this is when she embraces it, she looks at the camera and she has two different eyes. One's the human eye and one's the human eye. And that recalls the movie
I can't think of it either.
Hold on. I can picture Beautiful Creatures. It recalls Beautiful Creatures where she's battling. Is she going to be good or bad? Is she going to be good or bad? The whole movie, they didn't know what she was going to be. And at the end, she was a little of both. And she had a green eye and a blue eye. And at the end, she looks at the camera and has one of each. So that kind of recalls that that little thing about, you know, she's both. She's not just one. She's a demon and a human. And so she's something different. And she's golden. And she became his soda pop.
Yes, he dies in the end.
I think that speaks to pushing down your power too, to make other people more comfortable. And I think, you know, that's why people can't see you, because you're not fully being who you are and stepping into who you are as a person, because, you know, for so long you've been conditioned to be something else. Or, you know, there's even people out there that when you do become step into who you are, they don't want you to be there, and they try to tear you down. So it's always this constant battle of self and being in the world.
I love how quickly the fans don't like groups. So Huntrix, which is the name of our girl band, breaks up on stage. And then immediately, to help everyone get over the breakup of this group that just happened on stage, that's when Soulja Boys decide that they're going to have a giant concert at midnight, you know, ignoring all local noise ordinances, and to, like, you know, mourn the girl group breaking up. And then the girls walk into the stadium, and two of them just walk in and nobody cares. Before that, they were the most popular people in the world. But now, 2 hours later, they are complete unknowns. Like, wow, that is some extreme unfollowing on social media right there.
That's how fast it can happen. That's breaking someone down.
Social commentary on our pop culture world, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, did you notice that the concert ends in the morning like the sun has risen? Like it must have gone on for 6 hours or something?
It felt like it.
Right?
I thought the movie felt like 30 minutes to me. I felt like a TV show because I was so into it, and I was all about it, and I immediately went to look up the dances and stuff. Sorry, Richard-Lael, you and I are at opposite ends of the spectrum on this one. I suspect we are not going to be enjoying any animated pop stuff. You will not come watch Rainbow Rocks for my birthday with me, will you?
I love you.
I love you too.
It's just a different kind of musical, right?
Exactly. Uh-oh.
I'm hearing sound.
At the end, the romantic figure dies.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
He does.
At the end, the romantic figure dies.
Yes.
And then she's just okay with losing the love of her life. She just like moves on.
I don't think
like, I just lost the love of my life. Okay, let me sing a song about it.
In fairness, she only knew him for, I think, about 36 hours, because that is the rise and fall of K-pop in this world, right?
Yeah. I don't think it was the love of her life. I think she was just attracted to him, and then speaking to him and reaching out to him reduced the demon marks and made her be able to sing again. So I don't know that it was the love of her life, but yeah, she kind of. It was definitely an interest.
She was kind of Taylor Swift 10 years ago.
Yeah. She was. Everyone was shipping them together.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Well, in a place where shame is important, duty is also important. So the duty becomes more important than everything. Sometimes even love, unfortunately.
I hope the sequel's about finding Genu. He was a hot cartoon.
He was
Like,
hot.
that was an attractive cartoon, right? And I'm not always attracted to cartoons, but he was good
But
looking.
I am. It's a Korean
Yeah.
K-pop.
Yeah.
How about the way the girls were acting when they first encountered the Saga boys, and they were drooling and popcorn was coming out of their face, and you know what? I was like, oh my gosh, I can remember being a teenager and seeing some hot dude that looked like what's his name from Karate Kid, and I was like, oh,
Ralph Macchio?
Yes, thank you. I had a type. I can't. So the dark.
Hey Tabitha, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. How you doing, baby? Paint the fence. Paint the fence.
The dark-haired character in this movie, you know, I was like, ooh, same thing. You know, he was hot.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's an actor that some people say he was designed after, and I can't his name slips me, but if they did it because they were talking about how some people are wanting a live action remake, which I really hope they don't do, but they say he needs to play the character because he looks exactly like him, and I can't think of his name right now. But yeah, there's gonna be a sequel, and so that's gonna be really interesting what they do with it. Maybe they'll explain some of the stuff that got left out this first time. I don't know.
I don't think they will.
You know, I don't care if they do, honestly, but you know, it would be interesting. Some backstory would be nice, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the demon's really not bad. Maybe he's only misunderstood.
Right.
No, I'm pretty sure he's bad. Sometimes bad is just bad.
Yeah.
I think I think some of those ladies like the bad boys, though, right? And that's part of Genu's appeal.
I do think they look pretty cool in their demon outfits with the big hats and stuff and their eyes.
Yes.
You know, and that's those hats were super cool. I'm like, okay,
yes, they were.
Okay.
Girls like bad boys, yes.
Yeah.
Of
there
course
he is.
We do. Yes.
Yeah, look at that.
That would be a great Halloween costume.
Oh,
Those
someone
are great.
says that they have.
I have that hat.
Someone says that they have a. That being said, I had a poster of Kirk Cameron on my wall.
I mean, when it comes to bad boys, Michael Seaver on Growing Pains was the baddest of them all.
Well, you know, there's probably people that have no idea who that is.
Yes, I've dated myself.
We're definitely dating ourselves with that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I suggest you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've discussed the movie. We have a Mankey movie moment.
We definitely do. We definitely do. Rob, are you ready, Rob? Because like this is I've gone all out for this one. I mean, I've done things I've never done for this one. I'm ready. So if you watch the show every week, you probably notice that I am gone a lot. Not a ton, but probably more than everybody, but maybe Patty, because I tour a lot. And I often tell you that I'm going to be at pagan events when I'm touring, but that's not really true. All of that is mostly a lie. I claim to be at pagan events to cover up my second job, which is promoting K-pop to the masses. As most of you can probably guess by looking at me, I am a giant K-pop nerd. Outside of witchcraft, I have this whole other life that revolves around K-pop. Did you know, for instance, that I was a tour manager of BTS's last jaunt through the United States? This is it, Rob. This is the picture with me and the boys. Here I am backstage with the boys. Hint, hint. Hint, hint. Picture. Oh, this is so much better with the pictures. Oh, I'm so sad. I worked on getting my pictures of me with my K-pop group, like, to our producer. But, you know, you have to trust me that there's a picture of me with BTS backstage with all the boys, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, RM, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, because that's how cool I am. And I'm sure most of you know the band Girls' Generation. I was instrumental in getting them on the radio, not just in the United States, no, but also in places like Japan and Argentina. I speak dozens of languages, which helps me in my K-pop promotion job. Even back then, though, when they started out, and they started out like in 2007, I was too old to date the young ladies in the group. But Tiffany's mom and I, holy crap, we had some wild times for a long while we were on the road. And I want to assure all of you who are big K-pop fans like I am that despite the rumors back in May, Red Velvet is not disbanding. The girls are just going to go work on some solo stuff, but they are still going to tour and work on projects together. How do I know this? I have been working as one of their co-managers for years. There's a picture of me with them. What is going on? And you aren't going to be surprised to hear this, but of course, I had a thing with Irene's mom since we came out of COVID lockdown. Oh yeah, we've been making up for lost time, and she made me K-pop, if you know what I mean. Ho. But so because of all of this, when I heard that K-pop Demon Hunters was coming to Netflix, I begged the Coven to review this movie. I have started as soon as I heard it was coming. I metaphorically got on my hands and knees and was just a pathetic mess. I wanted us to review this movie so bad, so very bad. Heather waved her hand at me and said, "This movie doesn't have witches in it, Jason." I thought Richard-Lael would be on my side, but found out he's not really into girl groups very much. Patti, down with most everything, but she was only okay with this if Stevie Nicks was a member of Huntrix or the movie had a haunted doll. 0 for 2 there. That left me with just Tabitha. And when I asked her about the movie, she just moved her arm in a big circle and shouted, Mystic Shield at me. After all sending them some money on Venmo, and tonight's episode of the Witches Movie Coven is brought to you by Venmo, that's when they all finally agreed to do K-pop Demon Hunters for the show. I was kind of hard on the movie earlier in the show because I was just waiting to surprise you all, just like Saja Boy surprised the world by being demons, and Rumi surprised her bandmates by being half demon. Isn't the show better with surprises? Because this movie freaking rules, and in no way do all the members of Huntrix have strangely super long net legs and remind me in every way of Slender Man. No way. That is not a thing. These girls rule. Huntrix girls to the world. There's no way Jason would ever give this movie a takedown. The whole thing is golden and it's sweet like soda pop. And that's how it's done. K-pop forever. Jason out. Peace.
Whoa!
Bravo.
Beautiful. Thank you. Oh, you had a secret life we didn't even know about.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
That's good. Very good.
I'm gonna be out with Blackpink pretty soon.
All right. Next week we are getting close to the end. Next week, what are we seeing next week? It's a
Race with the Devil.
Okay. Race. I don't know anything about it, so I guess
Loretta Swit from MASH.
Oh, I love Loretta Swit.
You'll really love her in this one, but I think there's a dog. So, or is it a cat? You may not like that part.
Oh, why do they?
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll close my eyes on that part because I love Loretta Swit. I sat next to her. I used to do her. I used to. That sounds funny. Didn't mean it like that.
You used to impersonate her.
I used to.
I mean, she was hot lips.
Person ever. There's a big aircraft carrier in San Diego that we would do shows on. We would do big variety shows. I did okay as her. I have the whole outfit, and we had a perfect everybody else. So I blended right in with everybody else. So I've been doing her for a long time, and I got to sit next to her at a party years ago now in West Hollywood. I just kept trying to get closer and closer to her, but I didn't like pull out my camera and see if I could, or do I look like you, or I do you, or I didn't do any of those things. I will watch this movie. Yeah, I can. But anyway, I love her. So that's it.
Well, this movie coming up has satanic witchcraft. It has a state of the art 1970 something RV. So it's all of the fabulous clothes. It's got some guns. It's got some hooded figures. It's something.
It's going to be fun. And
It's no Josie and the Pussycats, but it is definitely something fun.
Nothing is Josie and the Pussycats. Let's be honest.
All right.
Josie and the Pussycats movie from a few years ago is banging. That's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
So before we go on with what we're doing, it is time to vote. Wands up, wands down. Up, 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 neutral, and stabbing down.
I mean, I could have gone straight. It was.
It didn't make sense, but it was pretty, and it was lots of fun, and I like the songs. I gotta go up.
It was pretty. That's why, for being animated, it's not what I want. I gave it a nice happy medium. Okay, so what are you guys in the chat room? Wands up, share them up. Wands up for a movie that took $100 million to prove that some things should not transcend cultural barriers and stay right where they are in Korea. Wands up, wands neutral, wands up. No other wands down so far. Wands up because I can associate with Sufi thought. Okay. All right. Well, wands up seem to be winning on this film. We'll see how next week goes with the new film. Anybody got anything coming up the next few weeks they want to talk about so people can come see us, watch us, talk to us?
Oh, I do have something.
Oh, tell us.
Yeah. Okay. So I have something. So I on the 10th, I am going to be hosting a private, very small, intimate group that you can find tickets to come and have tea and have your cards read, and then I'll read some stories, something nice and refreshing like the Gashly Crumb Tinies. Nothing like murdered. Something so romantic and uplifting. Yeah, that's what I'll be doing. And then of course I'm here in New Orleans. I'm easy. I'm the gentleman psychic. I'm everywhere.
Thank you. Are you home for a while, Heather?
Yep, I'm just working with authors and doing some stuff after a very busy summer. So I'm happy to be just hanging out in Atlanta. I'll have some stuff coming up in the fall, though.
Cool. You home for a while, Jason?
This weekend, I will be in Reno, Nevada for Reno's Pagan Pride Day, all day Saturday. Reno, the biggest little city in the world. And since it's Nevada, it's time for hookers and cocaine. It's going to be great.
Woo-hoo.
It's going to be a good weekend.
Yay. Yay. I love Reno, actually. Tabitha.
I just want to take the time to give a shout out to Courtney and say I hope you feel better and get well. I miss seeing you on Coven, and also give a shout out to Kelvin, who's normally on here, who's not on here tonight because I think he's having some personal things done. So I just want to give a shout out to him too, and hope that he goes through everything and comes out great.
Thank you very much. And yes, we love you, Courtney. And I want to give an extra good thanks to everybody in our chat room. We love your opinions. We love you being funny. We love you being snarky. We love it all. Mary Jane King and Colin and Robert and Ryan, official Ryan, and all you guys out there. This is for you. So thank you for being there for us. I am home. Well, I'm not home. I'm going away to film, but nothing that you guys can join me for. I think I'm going to be somewhere in Salem this weekend, but I don't know. Or this week. But Rock Island Roadhouse in Illinois, October 3 through 5, is going to be a really cool event. So check that out. Make your plans now. And other than that, I'll save everything for later. So it is that time. Are we going to dance and sing? We could be tapping our shoulders at very least. Richard-Lael. You can sing, Richard-Lael.
I am a demon.
Lost your voice.
I am a demon.
Okay.
Demon.
Then we will cackle. We need the witch and the demon couple.